Okay, we're live. Hey, everybody. This is Bradley Benner, and I've got Adam Moody and Marco Benavides with us
Ooh,
today.
fancy.
Hey
Yeah,
everybody.
in today's masterclass, week 11. It is May 20th, 2015. So we've got a lot to cover today, guys. Just a quick announcement for those of you that weren't in Hump Day Hangouts or that are just watching the replay. Curation Mastery comes out next week. Those of you that are mastermind members, you're going to get that. Those of you that are not, there will be the initial launch price, which is going to be at least $50 less than what the standard pricing is going to be. So if you guys want to get it included in a membership, just join the mastermind between now or next week when we launch. If not, it's going to be a great course. There's going to be a ton of information in there, and I just want to kind of pitch that a little bit because a lot of you that are looking for content, to create content, and we've had that question come up, like how to create quality content. In fact, we're going to cover that a little bit today because the survey that we had sent out last week from the responses that we received, one of the responses was how to create quality content. That will specifically address that for you. So anyways, I just wanted to kind of give a little pitch on that so you guys can prepare for that. It's going to be a really, really good course. We put a lot of work into it. So that said, I'm going to go ahead and grab the screen. We've got a lot to get through, so I don't want to waste any time. Let me grab the full screen so I don't have to keep switching windows. Okay, can you guys see my presentation?
Yep, there we go.
All right, and now it just switched. Okay.
And we're seeing your full screen, just so you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to do that so I don't got to switch if I got to change windows or whatever. All right, so what we're going to cover today is a case study, question mark. Okay, we'll get to that in a moment. Scaling for starters and scaling for experienced. What I mean by that is we're going to talk about scaling for people that are just starting out, because in the surveys that we got, which is going to there's going to be kind of some crossover between the training today and the survey responses. And we'll get into that. But for people that are just starting their business, which really that's what Masterclass was supposed to be for, was for those of you that are intermediate, beginner to intermediate, or people just starting their business or have had a little bit of success with SEO, but they're trying to get better at it, improve results, start making more money, that kind of thing. That's really what this Masterclass is about, guys. For those of you that are experienced, you should be in the mastermind anyways, but and a lot of you that are here are, so that's great. But we're going to talk about scaling for both of you. Okay, we're going to spend more time on scaling for starters, again, because that's what this masterclass course is supposed to be for, is for more beginners. Okay, and then we're going to talk about the upcoming training based on the survey responses that we had, because we asked you guys to participate. We didn't have near as many responses as I'd hoped to have, but what we did get was a fairly conclusive that we have some particular trainings that we're going to conduct over the next several weeks, and it looks like I have at least 8 to 10 weeks scheduled out, if not 12. So we've got several more months of training coming for you guys, and then of course we're going to conduct surveys during that time, and continue to build out more training for what it is that you guys want and what you need. Okay, so you're in the right place. So let's go ahead and get to the case study. So the announcement I wanted to make was for a proposed case study, because one of the questions that were things that have come up in the survey a couple times, and I've heard it in the Facebook groups and things like that, is you guys want to see a case study, some results, some setup and results of like us basically putting together a case study where we go out and set up an IFTTT network and a channel and rank some videos for local terms or whatever, and basically document the whole process and show the results. And it's funny because I think the people that ask for the case studies are the ones that aren't doing it on their own, because if you just followed the training and implemented what you learned, you'd have your own case studies. But it's come up several times now where people have said, we'd like to see some case studies. Well, then most likely you're either not doing it or you're not having success for whatever reason, and it's probably because you're not, there's something that you're not following completely or whatever. So that all said, I want to, I'm considering doing a case study, guys, where we set up a case study and go ahead and rank the videos and everything, do everything, and then document the whole thing and share it with you guys as we do it. Okay, and so I wanted to propose that, and what I wanted to ask for was those of you that are here participating right now. Hey, participation has its benefits. So for those of you that are actually here watching this right now, I would ask that On the events page, you type in what local niche you would like to see us build the case study out on. And out of all the responses that we get today, I'm going to select one, and I'm going to build a case study out for it, where I'm actually going to build the network. I'm not going to build it. My team's going to build it, and I'm going to, push videos out across the network for multiple keywords. We're going to rank them, and then we're going to end up monetizing them. Okay, and I'm going to document the bulk of the process so that you guys will see that it indeed does work. And the case study will prove all of that for anybody that still has doubts. You know what I mean? So I want to solicit you guys that are here to post your requests for the niche that we cover in the case study on the events page, and we will select one out of there. Also, the only caveat or the requirement is that it must be a niche available in Offline PR Video Vault. And let me just grab the link, unless you have it, Adam. I think it's just offline. Offline, hold on, it should come up because it's bookmarked. Offline PLR, or an offline PLR videos. If you want to drop that on the events page, Adam,
Sure.
see this, guys, there's volumes of offline video, because I'm not going to spend any time on creating videos for this case study, guys. I'm just going to use PLR videos, because you don't need to, that's one of the things, part of the reasons why I want to use these guys is to show you that I know, because I get support tickets and things like that where people saying that, and the survey responses, and you guys don't need to get hung up in the video creation process. There's resources out there that you can use to quickly, to have the content already, and then it's just your job to rank the content, right? And so that's why the only requirement I'm asking for, it can be any niche, but as long as it's a niche that's listed in one of these here. Okay, because that's all I'm going to do is just use these videos to just rank the hell out of those and monetize those. Okay, so go ahead and some of these, like niche packs, they have 8, 10, 12 videos in them, guys, or industries. So go through it and just figure out which ones that you would like to see and post them on the events page, and we'll get I'm going to select one of them and do a case study on it, and it's going to be something that will be completed within 30 days. Okay, and I'll share that with you guys, the results. All right, so that's it. We're going to talk about scaling for starters. This, guys, is really supposed to be specifically for those of you, and this is what I was talking about. There's going to be some overlap, some crossover between the training for today and the survey responses. So I got on a notepad file here. One thing. Okay, one of the responses, and guys, the responses are all anonymous. We don't know who of you, like which one of you guys said what, because it's anonymous on purpose. Which is good, because I don't want to embarrass anybody or call them out on the webinar, and I probably would if we did have your names. But somebody said on the case in the survey responses, being able to tell. Remember, the question was, what challenges are you facing? Number one, there was only 2 questions. Number one was, what challenges are you facing, and what would you like to see more of? Those are the 2 questions. Number one, this is one of the responses that came in. So what challenges are you facing? Being able to tell all the parts together and start making money. As per Bradley, if only 10% of students are making money, something is missing in your recipe. See suggestion below. So I put, what the F? Because as per me, only 10% of our students are making money. I challenge whoever, look, I'm glad you took the survey, and I'm not mad at you. But you're misquoting me here, and saying that I said that only 10% of our students are making money, and now you're saying that something is missing from our recipe. I challenge you to point that out to where I said that, and if you do, then you know what, we'll give you a month free of masterclass or whatever, because shame on me if I did say that. But I can tell you that's not something I ever said. So I would like to see where you can find that I said that, because way more than 10% of our students should be making money. I don't know what the hard number is, because we have never taken a survey to say which one of you are making money. What I have said was that only about 10% of the members have taken the survey. That's what I said. I didn't say only 10% of our students are making money. I said only 10% of our students responded to the survey. So I just want to clarify that right up front, because that is not something that I said. And if I did, and you can find it, we'll give you a month free of masterclass. But good luck. It would be useful if you picked a niche and set up a case study. This was the second question. What would you like to see more of? And this was from the same respondent. Okay, so it would be useful if you picked a niche and set up a case study on a test channel and walked us through the steps empirically from beginning to end. You might want to consider using your Frederick County. Well, I should have screened that out. Anyways, empirically from the beginning to the end. Yeah, that's fine. And first of all, that's what we're saying I'm going to do. I'm going to do a case study. But for whoever pointed that out as well, you misquoted me, number one. Number two, when you pointed out that that was strictly a spam channel that I was using to test Hangout Millionaire, which was an app. That was not something that I was actually using to drive. It was just a test. That was a Frederick County, Maryland tree service test that I did when I first signed up with Hangout Millionaire, which is like a spam. You can syndicate good quality videos. I was using it for spam. I was testing its spam capabilities with YouTube videos. And so for that specific channel, no, I'm not going to use that. I'm going to select one so that you guys don't think it's stacked in my favor for whatever reason. I'm going to select a niche that you guys suggest. Okay, I think that's better, anyways. So with that said, I was a little bit irritated with that, if you couldn't tell. But anyways, moving on. Starting with the low-hanging fruit, guys. This is what I want to talk about with scaling for you guys that are just starting out. This is really, really important. A lot of you are saying that you're having trouble getting started, or that you're, you don't have a lot of time. And look, I get all of that. I completely understand where you're at with your business or trying to start a business. And so I recommend, guys, that you start with the low-hanging fruit. And I know I've said that a million times, but I feel like it's falling on deaf ears because the same concerns keep showing up, from you guys as students. And so what I mean by starting with the low-hanging fruit is that you want to go after easy pickings so that you get you want to get success as quickly as possible. In other words, you want to see results and be able to start generating revenue as quickly as possible. And too many of you, some of you that have been following us for months now, have yet to make any success or any revenue, and it's because you're going after too difficult of terms to begin with, or you're overcomplicating your process, and I don't understand why. And so I want to try to clear this up today for starters and say that, like, for scaling, to scale up, to start generating revenue, and once you start generating revenue, increase that revenue very quickly. You want to start with low-hanging fruit, low competition stuff. So we're gonna start there, and then we're gonna talk about dominating for a niche in an area. Once you've discovered your low-hanging fruit, you want to repeat the process. That's going to be a key word today that you're going to hear multiple times throughout this training, and it's on the scale, the slides too. Repeat. Because as soon as you find something that works, repeat it. Do it again. Do it again and do it again, do it again. Because it works. Don't try other new stuff. Just repeat what's working. You see what I'm saying? Once you get some revenue coming in, and then you can start trying other stuff, but don't until you're comfortable, until you've got consistent money coming in. Because it's too easy for us to get a little bit of success and have a little bit of money come in and then say, okay, well, here's another opportunity over here. Here's another keyword set that I want to try. Here's another industry that I want to try. No, don't do that. If you found an industry that you're starting to make some money in, scale that baby up, okay? Because you already got a lot of the work done, and you don't have to worry about testing, and you already know it's working because you're seeing results, and that's what I'm talking about. And then we're going to talk about monetizing, repeating, and scaling, okay? So in the first slide, for starting with the low-hanging fruit, do the keyword research, guys. I've said this multiple times, but what's really important is to spend a lot of time on keyword research to get all of your keywords back, as many as you can pull back. And especially if you're doing I don't care whether it's website or video stuff, guys. This covers both right now. Okay, I highly recommend you use Google Suggest terms. Okay, highly recommend you use Google Suggest keyword phrases. Forget about the Google Keyword Planner. You can look in there if you'd like. It will help to give you some data and stuff. But forget about using keyword phrases from the Keyword Planner. Use Google Suggest terms. Okay? The reason I say that is because Google Suggest terms have traffic. I don't care if they're not showing metrics in the Keyword Planner or not. They have traffic, period. Plain and simple. Because if it shows up in Suggest, it means people are clicking on it. They're searching for it, and it means people are clicking on it. Okay? By the way, if anybody here is watching this right now or watching the replay, take out your smartphone, go to Google in your browser on your phone, and start typing a search query in. And you're going to see that half of your screen is taken up by Google suggest terms and the other half is your keyboard. So traffic is coming from suggest terms. And since more than half of all searches now are done on mobile devices, more than 60% I think is the statistic now, you ought to be using suggest terms more than anything. Okay, so use Google suggest terms. Adam, if you want to drop a link to semanticmastery.com/power suggest,
Yep.
that is
Yeah,
the
because
best.
that does the scraping of the.
That's right, and it will
terms.
scrape YouTube, it will scrape Google, it'll scrape Bing, Yahoo, eBay, Amazon. So it is, and it is very, very fast, and it's probably my favorite keyword tool that I've ever used, and it's easy to use, and I think it might still be on sale right now for $47. It's usually $97. I paid $97 for it, worth every freaking penny. Okay, and I use Google suggest terms, guys, for just about everything. Like, I'll still look in the Google Keyword Planner. In fact, sometimes I'll just take my suggest output from the tool and then go drop them in the Keyword Planner, and some of them will return metrics, a lot of them will not show any metrics, but it doesn't matter. I know there's traffic there. Again, take your phone, go to google.com, and start doing a search, and you'll see suggest takes half the screen and your keyboard takes the other half. So there's a lot of traffic coming from mobile from suggest terms. Okay, so do that first. Number one, scrape as many freaking keywords as you can about your industry. Collect all the keywords associated with your niche and your area. So go broad without your geographic modifiers, so that you get an idea of what other people are searching for in other areas outside of your specific area that you're trying to rank for if you're doing local stuff. And then also search with the local modifiers too, and scrape all of those back. Okay, and then the longer tail keywords are better. Get as many as possible, guys. I'm serious. You want as many as possible. Okay, then you're going to filter out, after you've scraped all those keywords, you've exported them or copied them. If you're using Power Suggest Pro, you just click copy all and paste them into a spreadsheet, Excel or Google Docs or whatever. Go through there, filter out, delete any of the ones that don't make sense or that have like local modifiers that aren't specific to your area, that sort of thing. And then you're going to end up with a big list of keywords. Go through there and start creating content for all of them. Okay, and I'm talking, like, I'm not kidding. I mean, if you come back with 400 videos, pick 25 or 30 of them to start with and start creating content for them, whether it's videos or content for blog posts. If you're doing website, if you're trying to rank websites or whatever, start creating content for all of them. I recommend that you go with the videos at this stage, guys, but then set up a YouTube silo or set up silos, period, whether you're doing it for a website or YouTube, and start interlinking your properties and syndicating your content. In other words, if you've got, like, let's say you come back with 25 or 30 good keywords that are specific to your area and to your niche. Like I said, the longer tail are better. Let's say you end up with like 25 or 30 good keywords. And you'll see when I put the case study together, this is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay? You want to literally go out and create content for all of those and put them into a silo. And I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it doesn't have to be, guys. I'm not saying you have to have 25 different videos. You take the same video and spin it, make it unique. Put a varying length slide at the beginning, a varying length slide at the end, change the background music. You can do all of this very quickly. In fact, you can hire people from Fiverr to do stuff like that, or from Upwork, which formerly Odesk, and send it to them and let them do it. Make multiple versions of your one video. And guys, once again, you can go to offline PLR videos to get your videos, right? So don't get crazy and caught up in the time it takes to make all this. Don't let that stop. Don't let the content creation portion of it seem like it's too much. Don't let that stop you, and don't let that be your hurdle. Okay, just get a freaking video or get 2 or 3 videos and send them over to Fiverr to make them unique to what's called spin your videos, and now you've got 25 versions of pretty much one video or a couple of videos or whatever. Okay, set up your content. Again, I recommend, if you're doing videos, that you just go get an article from Superspun article, which is Keith Goodwin. He's in our group, guys, in the IFTTT SEO group. If you want to drop that link, Adam, do you need that?
Yeah.
Or do you need
He's in this group. He's watching right now.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, what's up, Keith? Go
Hey,
get
Keith,
an article from
Keith,
him.
I'm lazy. Go ahead and drop your link in here.
Yeah, please, Keith, drop your link, because I recommend going to him and buying a Superspun article, which you can get thousands versions out of one article. So you spend $79 or whatever it might be, 69, whatever it is that you spend. It's totally worth it. And then you can just output a different version of that article every time you do another video, right? And as long as it's in the same ballpark of the content, it doesn't matter. You don't have to have exact match keywords in the article. It's all related, right? So just when you order the article, you give Keith the main focus keyword, which is going to be your broad keyword, and then give him a handful of the long tails, and he'll work all of that into the article. His team is very skilled at that. He puts out really, really good articles. Spend the $79. Now you got all the articles you're ever going to need. One time, you just spend that money. You got all the articles you need for that industry. Okay? Put your videos together like I talk about in the YouTube Silo Academy. You all should have that by now. It's just the way you interlink your videos in a playlist, period. Or if you're doing this for website stuff, then I recommend, that's a little bit beyond the scope of what today's training is, but you can do it for website stuff too. And then you syndicate your new videos across your channels, whether you're live streaming them or just doing a traditional upload, guys. I'm talking about you go and target every single freaking keyword for a particular industry that you want to work in, and all the geographic modifiers in that area. So I'm saying, like, if you're targeting, for instance, like, one specific city, then target every single keyword long tail that you can think of, or that the suggest terms show you that people are searching for, and add your geographic modifier to it, and rank and push out every single video for every single keyword. Does that make sense? It might sound like a lot of work, but it doesn't have to be. Take massive action. If you want to see results, take massive action. Because here's the idea, guys. Once you've done that, and you can track the results, okay? You can track the results. You go get Pro Rank Tracker for $19 a month or something like that, where you can add a bunch of your URLs in there and keywords. You just take your keyword set, drop it in, add your URLs from the videos. If it's 25 videos, it's going to be 25 URLs, and track the results. Okay, you'll see within a few days, a lot of those long tail terms are going to end up ranking, guys. The problem is, too many of you guys, I know, because again, the support tickets and the questions I get and everything else, you guys are going after the keywords that show in the keyword planner that have the search volume, and you're saying, well, but my client or who's going to want to rent, kitchen plumbing my city? Well, a plumber would. He might tell you he wants to be ranked for plumber plus city or plumbing repair plus city, but if you can rank for kitchen plumbing plus city or bathroom plumbing plus city, and you can rank for it with little to no work other than the initial setup of the video in your IFTTT network, and it produces phone calls, what difference does it make? Does that make sense, guys? Because I get angry because I keep hearing people saying they're not having results yet. But what I'm saying is, if you farm or mine all of those keywords out, like every single related keyword for a particular industry, and you target every one of them and push content out for every one of them, videos, whatever, and you're going to end up with some of them are going to rank with no additional work, period. Those are your low-hanging fruit, and that was the first bullet on the slides. Remember, low-hanging fruit, guys. Identify your low-hanging fruit and then run with it. Scale on that, because that's how you can generate money. So once again, once you started tracking, you should be able to identify easy targets from your tracking data, and then repeat using the same keywords in another area. Now you've already identified, hey, these are the easy ranking keywords. Again, I don't care if they're long tail. The idea is that most other people aren't targeting those phrases, and that's why you're able to rank for them very easily. They might not be high volume keywords, but you ranked for them with next to no work, right? And if you cumulatively, you add up multiple long tail keywords that you can rank for with little to no work, cumulatively they're going to produce results. You see what I'm saying? So repeat using the same keywords in another area. Go target another. And guys, when I'm talking about an area, if you're in Dallas, don't target plumbing Dallas, okay, and kitchen plumbing Dallas, because that's too obvious. Target the towns, target districts, target neighborhoods, guys. Remember, mobile search is over 60% of traffic now, and we already talked about Google Suggest being where most traffic is coming from on mobile search is coming through Google Suggest, right? But also Google's mobile searches are highly localized, hyper localized search results. So it's going to return results if you're in a neighborhood and somebody's got something ranked there with neighborhood phrase in it, then a lot of the times that's going to come up. So I've got data that proves that. I'm not going to share it. It's not stuff that I'm going to share with you guys, but I will when we go through the case study. I'm going to share all of that data with you. But what I'm saying is, don't start off with like the most obvious. Let's go for Dallas plus plumbing and all the long tail terms for Dallas plumbing, because that's still going to be competitive. I'm talking about go find your towns, your smaller cities, your neighborhoods, your districts within large cities, whatever, and target those keywords, guys. And that's what I'm talking about, is the fact that, yes, they're longer tail. Most people, they're not very competitive, but you will see you will generate traffic from them. And it's going to be a little bit of traffic here and a little bit of traffic there, but when you combine all of them together, it ends up being quite a bit of traffic, okay, and phone calls and leads. So when a plumber says, well, I want to rank for plumber Dallas, and you say, well, instead, why don't I rank you for 20 different other long tail keywords in District 1 and District 2, and I don't know what the names are because I'm not familiar with Dallas, but if I just had some names of those, I'm going to rank you for 20 videos instead, and you're still going to get traffic. Would you be interested in that? Then I know what the next question is going to be. Well, yeah, but then let me get to that in the next slide, because that's going to come up in the next slide. But anyways, identify easy targets for tracking data, repeat data using the same keywords in another area, and then track that data and repeat it again. So you keep fine-tuning and refining your data, right? So my point is, the first time you do it, you're going to identify low-hanging fruit. Chances are those are going to be easy to rank in other areas as well. But when you go target those keywords in another area, track that data again, and then compare. Now you can start to compare results from different areas, okay? And you'll get a really good feel for that market. And guys, that's once again why I keep telling you guys to zero in on a specific industry and stick with it, because you get really, really, really familiar with the keywords and what works and what doesn't, blah, blah, blah. Instead of having to do it over and over again, repeat what works, okay? So next slide. What happened here? Okay, there must have been a two-step on that one. Okay.
Hey, Bradley.
Yeah, go ahead.
Before you go on there, I've spoken to a lot of the people that are in our masterclass and in our mastermind, and then the one thing that I keep hammering home is that they have to take action. I mean, you can't just keep reading and studying and looking and then going off and then mixing and matching. You take stuff from I don't know, wherever, from this guy and that guy and us and them, and then you just keep going around and around and around, and you do nothing. You can't do that.
Yeah.
You go, you do your
and then wonder why you're not
study.
making money.
You go, you do your keyword study, you pick your keywords, you go and fire out that damn video, you do your IFTTT network, you make some money, then you go make more money, and that's how you do it. But if you don't do anything, you can't expect to make a nickel. You can't expect to look at your screen and money to rain from the sky. It's not going to happen. That's not how it happens.
That's true. Or you can't expect to go after a higher competitive term that's most likely not going to rank a video for anyways because it's too broad, blah, 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 and try it. And then when you fail, you give up, or you say, well, this doesn't work, or this doesn't work for me. Right? That's not true. It's because you didn't do it correctly. And for those of you that are on here, look, I'm not trying to lecture you guys. What I am trying to do is beat it into your heads that, go after the low-hanging fruit, guys, the stuff that other people aren't competing for, because you will see immediate results. And that will encourage you to do more, right? And then as you continue to, look, if you're just dead set on you want to rank for the more competitive term, fine, go ahead. Work on that all you'd like. But before you do, start generating some revenue from this low-hanging fruit, like what we're talking about here. And then you can start working on that on the side. It's kind of like a side project, if it's just like an ego thing that you want to puff out your chest and say you rank for Dallas Plumber, by all means do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying get some revenue coming in from the easy stuff first, right? So that you see initial success, because that's what stops so many times when people they quit, they leave the business because they tried something that was too hard, and they didn't see initial success, and they say, oh, well, this doesn't work, or this doesn't work for me. You guys are all here, means you've stuck, you've been here, you're serious enough to spend money with us to be here, and so I just, I'm trying to lay it out for you guys to tell you that you don't have to be Superman in SEO to make money with SEO. Okay, worry about that crap later. So.
Hey, Bradley.
Go ahead.
Just one more thing, and even if you want to puff out your chest and you want to go out and you want to rank for I don't care, for plumber, there's no money in that.
That's right. It's too broad.
No money
right.
For plumber. So why would you want to do it in the first place?
That's right.
We teach you how to look for that.
the business owners that you think that that's what they're going to want to rank for. But it's up to
Yeah,
you
but
as the marketing professional to educate them and say and
correct.
teach them why is that not a good term to rank for when you could rank for this, which is a lot more focused. You know. Okay, so guys, we need to keep moving on this slide, but let's see. Identify easy targets, repeat using the same keywords in another area, track data, repeat, okay? Monetize, contact business owners in the niche and monetize the results. What I'm talking about here, guys, is if you, again, let's say you've had 25 keywords. We'll just keep using that example. Let's say you went out, I don't care if you call it spam, you spammed out 25 videos targeting each one of those long tail keywords. Let's say that you only had 20% of them produce results. Rank. That's 5 videos, guys. That's 5 videos. So again, like if I think I talked about this. I don't know if it was in Mastermind or Masterclass, but I talked about Grant Cardone. He's got this book. You can go to Amazon or you can buy the audiobook, which is what I did, and download the MP3. But it's called The 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. Guys, go check it out. Go to Amazon, look for Grant Cardone, look up the 10X Rule. He says if you want to make an extra $30,000 per year, you should aim for making $300,000 per year extra. Because then if you fail miserably and all you get is 10% of what your initial goal was, you're still making that 30 grand that you would have set out. If you set your goals low, you're going to get low. A lot of the times you're not going to hit your goal anyways, and so you're going to end up receiving less than what your initial goal was. So why not set the goal really, really high so that even if you fail miserably at attaining that goal, you're still going to achieve measurable, considerable results. And so my point is that instead of trying to say, okay, I'm going to go rank these 2 videos or these 3 videos, say I'm going to go rank these 20 or 30. Because then if you only get 10% results, you still got your 2 or 3 done. Does that make sense? Take massive action, guys. You're going to see results. And so again, if you started off trying to rank 25 videos, or you did the keyword research, step 1, most important, one of the most important steps, step 1 is the keyword research. Then you created the content, interlinked it properly, syndicated it across your networks, tracked the results. Now you've got, let's say, 20% of them, which is kind of poor, but let's say 20% of them ranked. That's 5 videos now that you have that you can contact businesses with in that industry, in that area. Say I have 5 videos that are ranking for these terms. Yes, they're long tail. Who cares? They generate traffic. They generate exposure for your business. If renting and keywords have low volume, lease for less money. Guys, who says you got to get $200 a month per video? Yeah, that's great. If you can do it, by all means do it, okay? But my point is if you've been trying for months to rank a video and sell it to a client for $200 and you haven't sold it, what good is 0% of $200? Like, what good is it if you can't sell it? You're not making any money. So let's say you ranked 5 out of those 25 videos and you go and you rent them out for $50 per video. That's $250 a month. Screw that. Let's say that you give them a package deal and say, look, I'll rent all 5 of these videos for you for $50 or $150 a month. Right? That's $30 per video per month. But guys, remember, you identified these videos ranked with little to no work. Right? Like it's just the setup, and then you syndicated them, and they were the low-hanging fruit, so they ranked easily. They are of value, just maybe not as much value as what the client thinks he wants to be ranked for. So you rent them out for less. But the point is now you started making money. You could rent out 5 videos in a heartbeat for $150 because it's $30 per month per video, and you could show them, look, these keywords, and show them the Google Suggest data. Say, look, these keywords do have them. Show them on the mobile phone, like what I just told you. Tell them to pull out their mobile phone and start searching for terms, and the Google Suggest will show those terms come up. Say, would you like for somebody that clicks on that term for your video to be there? See what I'm saying? So now you can start generating money from those low-hanging fruit, even if it's not. Like again, people think, well, look, I'm not going to rent any of my videos out for less than $100 a month. Well, if you can push out 5 videos that rank with doing no additional work other than syndicating to your network, and you rent them out for $30 a month each, then yeah, you're leaving a lot of money on the table, but you didn't have to do anything else. That's my point. So I think I hammered that home. But if it's pay per lead, if you're using the pay per lead model, it doesn't matter because you're paying per lead. You're getting paid per lead and not for a monthly flat fee for the rental. Right? So if it's a pay per lead model, it doesn't matter how many, you're just getting paid for leads, right? So it's not up to the client what they rank for. It's up to you, because all you're doing is directing phone calls, right? So again, it doesn't matter. So start ranking for the easy stuff that'll generate phone calls. Maybe not many. Plumbing repair Dallas is probably going to generate a lot more than faucet repair or water heater service. But those keywords are high buyer intent. And if you have faucet repair and bathroom plumbing and water heater repair and pipe repair or underground pipe repair or something like, you got all of those different keywords all ranked because they were much easier to rank for, it's probably going to generate more phone calls than that Dallas plumbing repair keyword would by itself. That's my point. You guys get that by now. So now that you've got, I'm sorry, you cutting in? Somebody else?
Not me. No, I think you're good.
Okay. Immediately reinvest in your revenue, guys. When you first start getting some money coming in, you want to turn around and, reinvest that money back into your business. We're talking about scaling here, guys, remember? So even though those you guys are new or aren't making money yet, well, start making money by the way that we're talking about here. Go after easy stuff. Once you've found it, identified it, you repeat. Do it again. Do it again in the next town over. Do it again in the next town over and the next town over, and just keep scaling out. Boom, boom, boom. And start reinvesting your money back into your business to immediately help you get in a position where you can scale. Don't do all of this yourself. Hire help, virtual assistants. Build additional networks so that you can get faster results. You can you can start going after the more competitive stuff if you'd like to, because you're going to have a stronger infrastructure, right? Buy tools. I'm not talking about buying shiny objects, guys. I'm talking about buy tools that will help your narrow objective, which is to build your business and to make money, right? Buying shiny objects is going to take away from you building your business. It's going to take away from you generating revenue, because you're going to be pissing money away on crappy shiny objects, which happens all the time, and you're also going to be taking time away, which is more valuable, from you building your business when you're playing with these new tools and these new toys because it had a good sales page. What I'm saying when I'm talking about buying tools, I'm talking about reinvest in hiring virtual assistants, build your networks, buy tools that are going to help you. You can, like, for example, FCS Networker, GSA, you're going to need servers if you're going to be running that kind of stuff. And I don't recommend you do it personally. I recommend you hire virtual assistants or managers that can do that for you. Those things cost money. You can hire services like what we provide, or you can build your own infrastructure if you're going to be serious about your business, right? So reinvest the revenue that you start generating from your business immediately back in your business. I know it's nice to take some of that money and do what you want with it because you just made it. But the thing is you limit your ability to grow if you do that. If you reinvest your money back into your business, you can grow much, much faster. You'll realize a much higher level of income much sooner. Once again, repeat and scale, right? So once you've got this down, guys, I know this is a 30-minute version of how to scale from starters, but it's back to basics, right? Take massive action, guys. Instead of that, focusing in on 1 or 2 or 3 keywords that you think you need to be ranked for to make money, and then trying and struggling and blah, 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 and then, not having the results that you want, and then asking us how many networks is it going to take to rank for this keyword. Instead, if you just go out and blanket every freaking keyword that the Google Suggest tools return for that particular keyword set and in that niche, you're going to know how many it's going to take because you did the work. You did the test yourself. And then you've identified them. Now you go repeat that again in the neighboring areas. It doesn't even have to be neighboring areas. You just repeat in the next area that you choose. Okay, contact some business owners, give them a package deal, rent them out for cheap if you want. I don't care, just get some money coming in. Right? One of the questions that we had was, and I'm going to bring these up for a minute because we're going to go to the next slide in just a moment. I know we're getting close on time again, but some of the questions that we had was scaling. Number one of the respondents was expanding to take on more clients. Okay, that was one of the issues that these were all number one question answers. What I mean by that is number one was, what are your biggest hurdles, right? Like what is your biggest challenges right now? What are your biggest challenges right now? That was the question. So expanding to take on more clients. Well, part of the reason to take on more, or that being a challenge, would be you're doing it all yourself. So what do I talk about right here in this bullet slide? When you start making revenue, reinvest your revenue, hire VAs, because if you can't expand to take on more clients, it's usually only one reason you can't you're having trouble expanding to take on more clients is because you're limited in your time, right? It's probably because you're doing everything yourself. I've been there, guys. I've done the exact same thing. I know I'm not holier than thou or better than above that. I'm not at all. I've been there. I know it 100%. Okay, but hire some help. Train them, okay? Take some of that work off of your shoulders so that you can scale. You can take on more work, right? Number two, this was the question number one. This was just another respondent, right? It's a mindset issue. I don't have any clients yet, but I'm currently getting some videos made so I can rank them. Once I run out a couple of videos and validate the market, I'm sure any doubts I currently have will vanish. That is a very astute statement. Okay, that is absolutely right. It's a mindset issue, guys. Again, you take massive action, you're going to blow through any fears that you have. Just like what Marco was saying, you know. Again, it's you get that. What do they call it? Analysis of paralysis, right? You spend too much time analyzing, and then all these doubts start to creep in, and all these fears, and blah blah blah. Just go out and try blanketing 25 keyword phrases, all related to your niche. Long tail, the longer tail, the better. And tell me you don't get excited when you see some of those results, right? Ranking and selling my leads. I just need more practice on the phone. Well, you're right. I mean, and again, I think that's a great. I appreciate the candor and the honesty in these responses. I totally do. I completely appreciate them because I've been there. I can't stand the phone work. Not cold calls. I don't mind phone work when it's warm leads. And so, guys, go back to the training from the last few weeks that we've done. Right? Set up prospecting funnels. Right? Again, set up prospecting funnels and start driving traffic through a prospecting funnel so that by the time you get on that phone call, it's a warm lead. They're already seriously interested because they've gone through your funnel process. Right? So take that, get rid of that. That fear of being on the phone goes away when they're contacting you because they want your services. It's difficult when you're cold contacting people and trying to sell services. I know. I hate that psychology. I don't like it. That's why I got into doing video emails. Okay, so flip it around to where they're calling you seeking your help, and that whole the whole dynamic changes. Okay. Number 4 was time and focus. Can't afford a VA yet. Well, again, if you can't afford a VA yet, then it means you're probably not making enough revenue. And if you're not making enough revenue, it's because there's something that is not right. There's something broken in your business that you need to fix. And that's probably, if there's not enough time and not enough revenue, it might be, and I don't know whoever posted this, I don't know what your specific situation is, but I know from my own experience and from a lot of students that I've counseled with, that a lot of the times you don't have the time because you're spending your time on stuff that isn't going to really impact your business, like chasing shiny objects and looking at the next, the new plan that somebody's marketing that's going to make you money with push button ease and all that. And guys, that shit doesn't exist. It doesn't. It all takes work. I don't care what it is, how cool the software is. It's going to take work to learn the software and to set it up and put the process in place. So just pick something and stick with it. It doesn't even have to be our stuff. Just pick something and stick with it. You know. Time management. I would like to take on more projects and do more marketing, but I have too much going on, or at least that's how I feel. Again, you need to, and the following one, by the way, number 6, I put stars next to that, guys, because this was my favorite response out of all of them. Since everyone has limited time and assuming, and this goes right off with number 5, that's why I'm going to go ahead and read this and I'll answer it at the same time. Since everyone has limited time and assuming that there's an 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle, right, guys? You're familiar with the 80-20 rule. That's the Pareto principle that applies to SEO. That the challenge is to identify the top 20% of the SEO activities that will lead to 80% of the effectiveness, i.e., how can I get the best results most efficiently? That's exactly what this whole training was about today, guys. How do we identify the top 20% that's going to produce 80% of the results, right? Well, right here, keyword research. Collect all your terms, blanket for every one of those phrases. Seriously, it's a lot of work up front, but you will use that as discovery, right? Once you've identified those, you've found your easy, low-hanging fruit keywords, now you can go repeat it again to see if that was a fluke or if it was repeatable. So you go repeat it. If it works again, go repeat it again. Now you've got several sets that you can go monetize, right? And now and that's what I'm talking about, guys. Don't jump from one thing to the next. You've just discovered something that is repeatable. That's the 20% right there that he talks about in this statement. Okay, so repeat, repeat, repeat. You see that again on a few more slides too. It's just repeat, repeat, repeat. Figure out what's effective and repeat. Last was in this last part for this one was being able to scale my business. Well, that sounds a lot like the first one, expanding on to take more clients. And that's why I wanted to make this training the way that I did today, guys, was to say if you're not being able to scale your business, it's because A, you're either not making enough money to hire VAs yet, and it's probably because there's something flawed in what and how you're trying to make money. Or B, you're not able to scale your business because you don't have the time to invest into your business. And that I can't help you with other than to say hire virtual assistants to take some of the workload off of you. And again, there's the whole catch-22. If you don't have the money, how do you hire the virtual assistants? If you don't have the virtual assistants, how do you have the time? Blah, blah, blah. Well, that's why I talk about it. That's specifically why I'm talking about doing this, guys. Finding what works with little to no work and running with that, because then you can start generating money without jumping through all these hoops. Does that make sense? Hopefully that was clear. We got to move on. We're going to go to the next slide, guys, which was for scaling for experience. This is one slide only, and the reason is because those of you that are already making money in SEO but you're looking to scale your business, it really is simple. It comes down to just a couple points here that I'm going to make, and then we're going to move on to the next slide. If you're already making money in SEO, but but you want to scale your business, and I've seen that, and again, that was the respondents. I can bring that up right here. There's only a couple of you that answered or replied. No, the first question, biggest challenge, SEO okay, but getting new clients for lease sites or pay-per-lead is new to me, so getting a repeatable system, need to get a repeatable system in place. That was the what is your biggest challenge? What would you like to see more covered? So that's 1B. Repeatable system for getting new clients. Okay, let me read number 2, and then we'll keep moving. 2A is time and clear strategy, as I am in full-time employment. Number 2B, which is what would you like to see more of, is hands-off client acquisition. So those two are basically the same challenges, right? Well, guys, go back to masterclass the last couple weeks where we set up prospecting funnels. So a hands-off client acquisition or a repeatable system for getting new clients, that's what that is. Yes, it's going to take work, guys. Again, you can go purchase the next JVZoo thing that's going to tell you get clients over, and the sales pages are all the same, aren't they, guys? Buy our thing, and it's going to open up the floodgates of hungry hungry local businesses with credit cards in hand, willing to throw money at you. Come on, we've all heard it, right? Does any of it work? Does any of it work? Have you had any success with it? And some of those processes work, guys, but it still takes work. It's not like you set it up and tomorrow you're going to have 15 new clients. It doesn't work like that. It takes work. And so we talked about in Masterclass specifically setting up prospecting funnels, and you can set up hiring for all these, and driving traffic through them to where they come out on the other side, they're ready to purchase. Same thing with hiring. Drive traffic through, virtual assistants, prospects, prospective contractors through the hiring funnel, and on the other side are people ready to hire because they've made it through the funnel. Same thing with the prospecting funnel. Set it up, guys. It takes work. Sure it does. It's going to take some time, but for those of you like this who has full-time job and they don't have a lot of time, then I would focus your hands-off client acquisition. That's important to this respondent, right? So take the time that you do have to set up a prospecting funnel. So then your hands-off client acquisition is pretty much done for you. There's going to be some point of contact at the end of the funnel. There's no question. But it's going to be a hell of a lot shorter of a sales cycle at that point. So that will completely take that. What would you like to see more of? Hands-off client acquisition. We can do more of that. We can go more into depth on that, guys, again, if you'd like. We're not going to for a few weeks because I've got training scheduled now for the next few weeks. But just go back to the last several weeks of training where we go through prospecting funnels. Okay? So delegate. Scaling for experience. Those of you that are already making money that are looking to scale, you're having trouble, it's because you're not delegating work. I know, I've been there. I'm telling you guys, a little over a year ago now, I was at a glass ceiling. I could not make any more money doing what I was doing. Something had to change. I was out of time. You know what I mean? There was no more time in the day. I could not make any more money because I couldn't take on any more clients because I was up to my ears in client work on a daily basis and putting out fires and all of that kind of stuff, right? So I had to make a change, and that's where, like I said, I learned to start hiring and delegating work, which was painful for me, but I got it done. And that's where you guys will start to scale your business. Create working procedures for whatever you're doing in your business. This was covered already, but it bears repeating. Create working procedures. Document your tasks, the steps required to complete those tasks. It is a painful and tedious process, I know, but you only have to do it once. Once it's done, you can hand it over to other people, and they can learn those tasks, take them off your back, give you more time and the ability to take on more work. Okay? Hire and train outsourcers. Hand them your working procedures. Set up a hiring funnel so it automates the hiring for you. To a point, to a degree, it almost automates it. Once you've trained your outsourcers with your working procedures that you only had to do one time, then you delegate the work. Then you do what? You repeat. Repeat this process, guys, over and over and over and again. You'll build a team of people. You'll build a real business, not a job, a business. Okay? Reinvest your increased revenue. As you start to do this, guys, your money, your revenue is going to go up. I know it's almost like, look, I have $3,000 coming in my business this month. Again, remember, this is for people already making money. But let's say you got $3,000 coming in your business right now, but you're having trouble scaling and growing your business. It's probably because you're doing everything. But and I know it's difficult to say, okay, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and try what Brad says, and let's go ahead and hire a virtual assistant. I'm going to pay them $125 a week. That's $500 a month. Oh wow! Now my income's down to $2,500 a month. I don't want to do that because I want to keep that $3,000 a month. Then you're going to stay at $3,000 a month. Okay, go pay that $500 a month. And take a month or two where you get into the process of creating working procedures, training the outsourcer, managing them, making sure that they learn the task at hand. It might take you 2 months where you are at a lower level of income because you had to give up $500 a month to that outsourcer. But at the end of that 2 months, now you're in a position where you can take on another 2 clients, let's say, at $1,000 a month per client, or another 3 clients at $500 a month per client. Now you've just increased your revenue, right? And now you have a process in place that you can repeat to bring on more help. Okay, you guys get that? So reinvest the increased revenue that you're generating from putting this process into place to hiring more VAs. Hire a project manager. Hire or even like your first VA, if they're doing well, promote them to a project manager status to where they can handle a lot of the day-to-day activities, the details of running the business, while you work on the money-making stuff, right? Research, client prospecting, the higher-level SEO stuff. Let them do the lower-level stuff. Invest in tools and training. I don't mean tools and training for yourself, although business training, I would always say continue investing in yourself for education. But hire tools and training for your team, your virtual assistants. If you make your virtual assistants better at their job, they're going to be more efficient. They're going to make you more money. Okay, so hire tools and training. Reinvest some of your revenue back into your business, including tools and training for your virtual assistants. Lastly, set up prospecting and sales funnels, guys. You should be using those, and like whatever you don't outsource, automate, right? Whatever you don't automate, outsource. Okay, we're almost out of time. We basically went through the survey responses as we were going, so I really don't want to go over these again. I just brought these up to show, like, this column 1 over here was for the newer people that are just starting out. That was these. Like I said, my favorite one was the 80-20. Whoever mentioned the 80-20 principle, Pareto principle, was absolutely right. That's what you should be doing, identifying what 20% of all your overall activities are producing results, or find out what's producing results, and chances are there's only about 20% of what you're doing that is even producing results, and then zero in and scale that, right? And then someone said struggling to get started and afraid to make mistakes. I saw that. I don't know if I put that over here, but somebody said they were struggling to get started and afraid to make mistakes. Listen, if you want to be successful, fail more often, right? Fail forward faster. Right? Like the only way to, like, the more you fail, the quicker you're going to get to success. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. If you're afraid to make mistakes, you will struggle to get started. Instead, just go out there. Go out there and just take massive action and make a shit ton, pardon my language, of mistakes, and you will see some success in those mistakes. And then that's when you find those successes in a sea of mistakes, then you really zero in and scale on those successes. Okay, and that's, again, that comes down to testing, guys. So hopefully that was helpful. I do want to go over one more thing, and that's just the upcoming training, because we're almost out of time. And then I'll probably take a couple questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. But guys, we'll do another Q&A session specifically with you guys. Maybe, depending on what your thoughts are, at the end of these upcoming training videos, or at the end of this slide, we'll take a brief poll to see if you guys want to do another, like if you guys want to have a week dedicated to, and it could be next week, of just Q&A, because I know some of you have some questions that you want answered. Or would you rather just go on with the training and we'll continue to do what we've done, maybe do like a Q&A session in a few weeks? So I'll let you make that decision. Go ahead and right now put your opinion on the events page. Do you want to have a Q&A session next week, or would you rather continue with the training and we'll do a Q&A session in a few weeks? Go ahead and put your response on the events page now, so by the time we're done, we'll know. Upcoming training, guys. The Curation Mastery is the premium training, guys. Unless you're Mastermind members, it is going to be a paid product. If you're Mastermind members, you get it included, because it's going to be under $300. If you guys are not Mastermind members, I think we're going to launch it at $197, and it'll be $247 as our final, our standard pricing after the launch. We'll probably do like a 30-day launch period, but it's totally worth it, guys. Content curation. You can, like I said before, you can create a content marketing business, which is a service, an activity-based business model. It is not a results-based business model. SEO is a results-based business model, right? We don't get paid unless we produce results, or we can lose a client and lose revenue if we're not producing results, right? And I love SEO. I do. I love the challenge. I like the game of it. I think, so I'm in the SEO business, but there is a whole nother market out there for content marketing, and that's a service-based business where you just provide a service and you get paid, and it's highly lucrative, and there's a huge demand for it right now. And curating is the key to it, and you can outsource it. No kidding. Okay, so those of you that are not in the mastermind, I would set aside $197 to invest in your business, because it's going to be something that you could actually put into place. For those of you struggling to make money, this is something you could do to make money now, and you could hire it out, is my point. So the next upcoming training series, guys, that I'm going to do is going to be local SEO. That was requested. Local, like maps training, guys, not video stuff. I'm talking about local SEO, like website setup and maps, Google Maps training, right? So we're gonna do some training on that, and it's probably going to be a 3-week, but maybe a 4-week session. So in other words, we're going to cover that every week for the next several weeks, because it's going to take, we can't cover it all in an hour. That wouldn't be fair. It would be too conceptual and not enough mechanics, right? We want to teach the mechanics of it too. So I'm going to teach on local SEO, maps training for both lead gen and for clients. It works for both. And that's for setting up websites that are optimized for local search, citations, semantic markup, structured data, schema.org, that sort of thing, and ranking for maps. Okay? So hopefully you guys are going to be excited about that. I think that's, now that we're beyond the initial, the initial syllabus or training schedule for the IFTTT SEO Academy stuff, we're going to get into some more other stuff too, because you guys have requested it. Okay, and I said that that's what we would do when we set up this class to begin with, was that after the initial IFTTT SEO training was done, that we were going to get into stuff that you guys requested. Local SEO's come up multiple times, and we're going to get into that, and some of the more advanced stuff like semantic markup, structured data. We're going to get into it to a certain degree. The real nitty-gritty stuff is reserved for mastermind members, guys, and remember, we're trying to lead you, total transparency, out of the masterclass into the mastermind. Once you're at a point where you're making money, which you should be, we want you in the mastermind so that you can learn the more advanced strategies, right? So again, we're going to be teaching you guys some of this stuff to help you get some success with this, and hopefully you'll join us in the mastermind where you learn even more. Affiliate training, that's going to be next. We're running an affiliate accountability group inside the mastermind right now. We're doing the mastermind. We do a bi-weekly webinar, which has been typical since the inception of Semantic Mastery altogether. But with the affiliate accountability group, we're also doing an additional 1-hour webinar per week. That's on top of what is already included. And right now it's completely 100% about affiliate marketing and training. We're doing it together as a group. That's why it's an accountability group. And so by the time we're done with the local SEO training here in Masterclass, we're going to have a lot of data coming back from the affiliate accountability group, and I am going to recycle some of that and bring it to you guys that are Masterclass members, okay? And we're going to talk about affiliate training, setting up sales funnels, or opt-in funnels and sales funnels, traffic generation, which is a big one. We're going to spend a lot of time on traffic generation, guys, and then we're going to talk about email marketing, setting up follow-up sequences, and we're learning as we go with semantic mastery. Remember, guys, we all were running our own local businesses, SEO businesses, before forming this group, Semantic Mastery, and so we're learning about email marketing and stuff with our own marketing, and it's highly effective if done right, and so we're going to be talking a lot about that too. Building an email list is very, very important. It's key to having a good business, right? And lastly, we're going to talk about Hangouts and YouTube Live, in YouTube Live training. This has come up a few times, but how to use Hangouts and YouTube like live events. So essentially, like, for SEO and also for local clients, like how to monetize that. And we're going to talk about that. There's several different ways that you can actually use that to make money. And in traffic generation, which kind of dovetails off of the affiliate training, because a lot of the affiliate traffic that I'm going to be driving to my funnel that I set up for the affiliate accountability group is going to be done through Hangouts and YouTube Live events. So I'm going to have a lot of really good data for that, and then we're going to cover that more in depth. Specifically, we're going to do a couple weeks on just that. Okay. So other than that, I'm going to jump onto the. Is there anything glaring that we have to take care of, Adam? Because I know we're like already over.
Yeah, we're over, but there were a lot of questions, so I would just say if we can scroll down and go through them. If they're in depth, we may have to do something else, but let's just try to get through some of them.
Okay.
I'm going back. I was dealing with some other stuff. Okay, so Keith was asking, hey everyone, can you expand on how we should expand our Tier 2 networks? Do we connect our extra 3 feeder sites to the Tier 1 and build out each network from there, or connect them to the Tier 2 and build out from there? Is there a diagram covering deeper networks?
Okay, Keith, all I would suggest doing is, okay, if you've got your branded Tier 1 network, you've got a Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, right, which you would connect your Tier 2A network to the Blogger RSS feed, Tier 2B to the Tumblr RSS feed, Tier 2C to the WordPress RSS feed, right? So what I would suggest if you want to expand on your Tier 2 networks is just stack multiple Tier 2 networks. In other words, you create another Tier 2A, like Tier 2A.1. You know what I'm saying? Like, however you label, it's up to you. But my point is, you create another IFTTT network that is fed by your Tier 1 Blogger RSS feed, right? Then you do the same for Tumblr and the same for WordPress. And then you go to a third layer, do the same thing. That's what I would suggest. I know a couple students have asked about going out to Tier 3 and even Tier 4 and stuff with networks. I don't recommend that because honestly, I've had huge success with just going out to Tier 2. And if I want additional push, then I boost my tiered networks using additional services. And I just think it gets too complicated. Again, guys, I am all for trying to keep it simple. I think there is way too much overcomplication in the SEO world. It isn't a complicated business, but it doesn't have to be on certain, there's certain things that you can do to simplify it. And one thing I would suggest with the tiered networks is don't get crazy with your network structure. Instead, remember that all tiered networks are just individual rings. Look at everything as a single ring and just how you put those rings together. It's like a jigsaw puzzle, right? So if you start with your Tier 1 ring and you got your 3 blogging properties, Blogger, Tumblr, WordPress, and you got Tier 2A, B, and C, you can stack as many A networks as you want on Blogger, and as many B networks on Tumblr, and as many C networks on WordPress. And that's what I would suggest doing. Okay, just remember, only for YouTube I would suggest doing that. If it's for a money site channel, or a money website, a blog, I wouldn't recommend doing that unless you have a lot of different content sources to mix on all your Tier 2 networks. I don't recommend doing that, though, because you can get yourself into trouble. Okay?
All right, the next few look like they're responses to your question about which niche to do, so we can look over those afterwards.
Yes, and guys, I'll pick one, and we'll talk about it next week. I'll announce what the case study is going to be on.
Cool. And then Keith has a follow-up question. He's asking, does lead gen in other countries other than the U.S. need any different approach? He's thinking UK, Australia, Asia in general.
I would say no. I can't imagine it would. I mean, it's pretty universal, the idea, like all businesses, I don't care where they are, they need leads, right? So it should be the same process. They're hungry for leads. If you can provide the leads, you can make money on it.
Yeah, I was going to say, Keith, I know you were asking about how to do this, and I feel bad, I forgot his name, but somebody, Rick answered you, and then I jumped in on that. This may be something unique for you, since I think you're located in Asia. You want to talk about some low-hanging fruit. Um, you probably aren't going to have, well, you're not going to have the competition that the US or the UK. And that comes at a price. You may not be, have the market where you can really exploit this, but there's going to be something there. There's definitely some low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, Mary Rose, she had some pretty good. Those are very unique, highly specialized. Those would be kind of interesting, Mary. So great, great suggestions there. All right, next question, Adam, because we're gonna do about another 2 minutes, and that's it.
All right, man. Keith was on the ball today. He's getting them in there. Okay, can we use more than one channel, one YouTube channel to a network? I'll just take that as the first question. Yep.
Sure, you can. Make sure that they're related though somehow, Keith, or else you kind of pretty much tank your whole theming of your networks.
All right, and then his next one, he's thinking same brand, but one promotes our own new lead gen brand, and another one for lead gen videos for clients. Or is it better to have IFTTT networks for client lead gen videos and build separately? So he's just basically saying, do you want to have this under the same channel, or do you want to separate the channels out? Interesting.
For the branded network, I would keep branded networks separate per channel. So like each branded network would be specific to that channel. But you could take, for example, if you had a tier 2 network set up that you wanted to syndicate multiple tier 1 networks into tier 2, that's fine. You can do that. Just make sure that they're related. Like I said, just keep them themed properly. But yeah, in that case, you could go with lead gen and client stuff. It doesn't matter because you want tier 1 to be all about whatever your like either client stuff or lead gen stuff, so that there's no crossover there, because you know what I'm saying? Like it would be kind of like a conflict of interest is like what I'm saying. So what I would suggest doing is you can share tier 2 networks with multiple tier 1 networks as long as they're in the same industry, but that's because it's 2 steps away from where you're ultimately trying to drive traffic to. And at least on tier 1, I want to keep traffic coming in very focused. Like they know that they're coming in, they're not going to be distracted by another offer is my point. Does that make sense? Hopefully that's clear.
Good deal. All right. Well, that wraps it up.
Okay. If there's nothing else glaring, then that's it. We're going to call it. So.
Yeah, and Keith, real quick, we're probably not going to change the times right now. It's mostly because of where most of the people are located. I understand it's kind of a pain, but appreciate you getting up bright and early to attend these.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's cool. And maybe we'll do a special one every now and then at a certain time to accommodate.
I was gonna say, it's basically based on the majority. If we start getting more people in who want them time shifted, because they're 12 hours off almost, something like that, then we can work. But right now, I think it's gonna stay where it is.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, thanks for being here. Hopefully, you guys got a lot out of today. I thought today was an important class. I really do, because I want to kick you guys in the ass that aren't making any money yet, or that want to make more money. And seriously, don't overcomplicate stuff. Just go back to the basics. Take massive action, and guys. If you do exactly what I said today, with all the other training you've already got, you have the knowledge. Now it's a matter of taking action and making it happen. And if you took just today's lesson and even skipped classes for the next couple weeks and said, look, I'm just going to focus in on this for the next couple weeks, you'll start making money. I promise you that. And then from there, you can start scaling. So we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Adam, and thanks, Marco.
Ooh, have a good one.
Bye, everyone.
See you.